I will assume it is live. I just have a spinning circle, but let's see. Stream health. Excellent. Stream is healthy. Okay. Good enough for me. So anyway, flying solo today. Don't have anybody in the stream with me. I don't even have anybody in the house except cats, so it's kind of nice. Mustache. He is speaking too. Yeah, all right, good. So we are live and you can hear me. We have Chrono Trigger music today. I thought I'd shake it up a little bit. We have remixed Chrono Trigger music, but fun game. So people voted for this stream. They said they absolutely want the lore. And as a matter of fact, I meant to go look. Let's see what the poll was here. How do I even see that? Can I just go to my channel? View your channel. Pet those cats. I got the cats. They're right. Here's one. You can't see him. He's in the window. Let's see. Posts. What was the final score here? 86% voted I would watch lore streams. So, here we are. All right. It's Swords and Stones. What's up, man? Cat's on live video. Well, I can there he is over there. He's busy looking at the window. I should have set the camera up right there instead of on me. That would have been more entertaining. That's what I did last time. I think it was just me. But anyway, we're gonna dive into some lore. I don't really have a plan. I have a couple thoughts I rattling in the back of my head for Moss and Stone that I did write down somewhere, but I haven't looked at them since I wrote them down. No Excalibur today. We're going to be in a mind mapping tool that I really like called Free Plane. It used to be Free Mind, but that one went not discontinued, but just stopped receiving support, and then somebody took it to keep it going and made it Free Plane. So same tool. It's nice. It's not very it's got an old user interface, so it takes a little getting used to, but I like it. It's nice. It can do a lot of things. Just might not always be the most intuitive. So that's what we're going to do today. And I still preach very heavily on mind maps. I think they're a very good tool, but I have over the past couple years stopped using them. Mostly. I've just gotten to the point where I just go to a text document and just start typing everything there, because then I can open it wherever. It's kind of a thing I get paranoid about. But for today, I thought I'd use the mind map, make it a little more visual. Tried to make it not blinding white too, so we'll see. So we're just, if y'all have random ideas you want to throw out there, do, and then we'll see if they can fit into the lore. I do know, I've already forgot. Hang on, I have it on the Excalibur board. Let me open this. Moss and Stone. There's a city with somebody's name. Cephalus was the guy. I think it was somebody Jacob knew. So let me just, can I copy that one word there? There we go. Jacob's friend, and a city named after him. I don't know why or what the case. But I'm pretty sure Cephalus did donate a good bit of money during the stream, so we can give it to him, right? What are the foundational bits of lore you got in mind? Well, glad you asked. We have the Silent Heresy, the Green Voice, Hollow Tongues. You guys know what Hollow Tongues are. Those are the monsters that the moss has corrupted in Whisperstone. So, if I remember right, what I had written down is once upon a time, there was a place where everybody, basically your Garden of Eden, right? Everybody got along, everything was well and good. Garden of Eden with multiple people living there. The moss, everybody believed in the green voice, which spoke, air quotes here, didn't actually speak, communicated through the moss. Like it provided them with moss, and the moss was used, for food, nourishment, bandaging up boo-boos and all that stuff. Insulation for the house. There's just all kinds of things you could use it for. And the stones. The stones were more history markers, for a lack of better words. They built their structures out of stones too, but like there was that writing in the stone, so it is forever written in stone, and that's kind of how whisper stones came to be. So there's that. But at one point during this little paradise Garden of Eden kind of place, a creature of some sort, it's up to the user / GM's interpretation, a creature of some kind showed up with just moss growing off of him, and it was very clear he was not right. Like his eyes were glazed over. I had in mind it was a large snake that came in, and not because Garden of Eden, just snakes make good bad guys. That creature came in and was just absolutely wild. It was clear he wasn't thinking right and was just running off instinct, and it killed a bunch of people, and people fought back. And, lost a lot of people, but they killed the monster. But the disturbing part was the moss had corrupted this thing. So it's like, wait, the moss was good. We all thought moss was good. It's supposed to be good and great and comes from the green voice. And that's the silent heresy, is when people started or stopped believing, when they started to think otherwise. That's when the path of religion split. There were those that considered the green voice a nemesis or a disaster, something terrible. And this is what I haven't figured out yet. It's like, okay, there is good moss and bad moss, and I don't know if I want to define what the bad moss is. Maybe behind the scenes, and that's something we can do today. But whatever I figure that out to be, I probably would not put in the book. I feel like that's something to let players and GMs determine on their own. Kind of like, what was the monster that attacked the Garden of Eden? So it's good to know how things work behind the scenes, but what you give people, and the same way in writing, like you need to figure out your magic mechanics, but you don't always need to explain them in full Wikipedia detail in your novel. Just enough so things make enough sense and can be consistent, so you know what to expect, or you know when somebody shows up and does something, you understand the scale, and you're like, okay, what that guy did was very incredible, instead of just like, oh, I have no idea what the scale is. Anyway, so the green voice is basically Mother Nature. Let's say the good deity. Is that how you spell deity? It'll tell me if I'm spelling wrong. The good deity. Rumor and old stories say snake, blah, 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 blah. Other rumors say stink beetle, blah, blah. Big old stink beetle just rolls in there. Stinks the whole place up. Or stink bug. Not stink beetle. Are those bad where you're at? Well, you're in a whole other country now. Stink bugs get bad around here. And there's Blaze. I'm wondering if he's wondering if he needs to be. I forgot about daylight savings. The stream started an hour. Is daylight savings already started? Is that why it was so light when I woke up this morning? Blaze, if you're watching this, hi, I see your message. You're fine. I'll tell him I'm streaming. Start on Sunday. Yeah, that's what I thought. That wasn't time for us yet. Okay, so that's the green voice. The green voice, in my world, in my mind, is a good thing. Something has corrupted the moss, not the green voice. And I also had considered Oh, Europe and the rest of the world is almost done. Interesting. I didn't know that. Something I had considered when I was thinking of that story, you know, the monster comes into the Garden of Eden and all that, that the green voice did do that. Like, it corrupted something and sent it in to run everybody out because the green voice was losing control. Or, you know, that oppressive force was coming at her. And she's like, I cannot protect them forever. I have to drive them away from this land. So I'm going to either make this happen or allow this thing to happen, which can cause some confusion. But that's one theory. I also, totally unrelated, got some of these liquid death things for the first time. Not impressed. Hashtag not sponsored, I guess, but it's very okay. I won't buy them again because they're too expensive. Let's see. So Silent Heresy, when the monster came and attacked the good land, Eden, it made people question the green voice / the goodness of us. Yeah. So hollow tongues, well, creatures that are, there's so many quotes going around here, corrupted by moss, no longer in control of themselves. I hear, Crash, what are you doing on my piano? Creatures that are corrupted by moss, no longer in control of themselves. So we could have a question out here. Are they just wild? Or is there another deity trolling them? And I was wondering before we got started, if I do this, make the cloud like that instead of, I will say, well, Cat, what are you? Come on. Back there trying to play piano. Let's see. I forgot what I was gonna say. Wonder if there's a way you can set that cloud default, but I don't know. That way I can see that and know that's a question to answer. I am so sorry, I forgot the daylight savings time meant that the stream starts 1 hour earlier. That's right. Can still join? Yeah, if you want to jump on, sure. Sage, Moss and Stone. Do you know what devil tongues are? They are fossils of shark teeth. Maybe whisper stones are actually bones or teeth. Ooh. Ooh. Well, I like that idea, and I was wondering if I could use that on top of everything else, but it might be too much. But the reason the stones are stones is because we're using the name Moss and Stone. So I guess we could call it Moss and Bone. Ooh. I'll make a note. What if bones instead of stone? Moss and Bone? Moss and Stone has a, you know, good ring to it, though. Let's just do that. See, I don't have to do this each time, but till I figure it out, that's what we're gonna do. Fossils are technically stones? I guess you could flavor, say it's a whisper stone, but it could be something else. Maybe. Or maybe it's just for, ooh, what if you had cursed whisper stones? Whisper stones that did something good? Excuse me. Did something good like they do now, but the whisper stones that were etched into bones are the cursed ones, so they always have a very negative drawback to them, like really strong positive effect, but what if bones? Cursed whisper stones that are bones instead provide a very beneficial effect with a nasty side effect. Rocky cocky. Heavy metal, moss and bone, hard rock, moss and stone. That's a pretty cool idea. I don't know if y'all heard that, but that did not sound good. The cats are wild today, apparently, or at least that one. There's also no structure to this mind map. I know I had a few nodes up, but like, do not take that to mean, hey, this is a good template for world building. I just threw some random stuff on there. Heavy metal! Moss and bone, moss and sword and stone. There you go. I will say, I was considering, just for the wordage and verbiage of the book, critters. That's not how you spell critters. That's just all intelligent animals. Let the players play as townsfolk, etc. Anything not a critter is a wild animal. The cat in a box. Where'd that come from? When mom is away, the cats will go crazy. See, the thing is, they have been very good this whole week while Glee has been gone. Except for today. And I think that's because it just was rainy and gloomy all week. And today's the first day of sunlight we've had. Matter of fact, it rained so much that the ground got so soft, a tree fell over that I got to cut up. So I got some of it cut up in between rainstorms, but all right. So safe zones. So what are we doing? The bone brew? Well, we were talking about making whisper stones bones. World building and system specific. Yeah. So we're just fleshing out some lore, backstory, world building. This is for Moss and Stone, which is for a playset for EZD6, but EZD6 does not have a specific setting or anything. It's just fantasy. Whereas Moss and Stone is all about playing as various animals. Very Redwall-esque. I say that, but I haven't read Redwall in 100 years, so I could be wrong at this point. But you get the idea. Playing as animals whose sizes don't make sense. Very inconsistent. We have small badgers and large mice. So, let's see. There is the bad moss. So, you could say I'm thinking book writing, and I need to not do that. But I was like, okay, the bad moss can just be the sin that has entered the world. Redwall Mouse Ritter. Yeah. Though, Mouse Ritter, you're in a world of humans, right? I feel like, because some of the stuff you get, like a button, it can be a shield, and which is very cool. I don't know if the humans are still around. That is undefined in Moss and Stone, and I want to leave it that way. It's entirely up to you if you're in a world where there was humans and something happened to them, or they just never existed. So, but yeah, that's the idea. Have a great day, everyone. Gotta pretend to work now. Bye, swords and stones. Super surreal. No. Alright, so what was I saying? The bad moss. I'm leaning towards another deity, but I'm not sold on the idea. Why did that beep? Forgot what the last game was. That the setting was you played as a little people in the house, kind of like. Well, video game. There's Grounded, which would make a fantastic tabletop game or a ttrpg. But there's also Household, I think is what it's called. It's by I think that's the same people that made Outgunned. I think it's them, that Italian company. Household. It's just HH, and they have that logo. That's a recent one, and I think they just made an expansion for it. I think. Bad moss indicate there's good moss. Well, there is good moss. There's since the beginning, and that's like I was saying. That's kind of where things split once they saw a corrupted person or animal that had moss growing out of them and was making them do weird things. Though you could. This is another theory. Maybe the moss growing out of the hollow tongues is keeping them from becoming something worse. That's the one. I think that in Redwall, basically. Yeah, I really want to play some of those games by that Italian company. I forgot, like Little Mouse or something. I forget what they're called, but Outgunned, and then there was several other games, I think, based off that same system. Outgunned was. I really want to try that, and then I assume Household's pretty similar. I don't know if it is or not, but they seem fun. The green voice made the moss for those that went against nature to be part of it before they are cleansed. Those who didn't move on become the twisted moss. What rumors or conspiracy theories are there in Moss and Stone? Well, we're making them right now. So, hold up, Twice did. The green moss made the moss for those that weren't, or that went against nature. I'm sorry, to be part of it before they are cleansed. Those who didn't move on become the twisted moss. So in the beginning, everybody was using moss, and like it was seen as this holy thing, and they like. That's how they came up with the green voice, moss green. But that's how she provided for them. So when you say the green made the moss for those that went against nature, that seems like the moss would be an offensive thing right out of the gate. Unless that's a typo. I'm supposed to say that weren't against nature. I need more detail. More detail! So, I'm kind of like the idea, too, though, of hollow tongues having moss grow all over them to prevent them from becoming something else. But it's like a sacrificial kind of thing. Like the green voice puts moss on them, and then they corrupt that moss. Moss is like purgatory. You stay there till you are dead proper. Oh no. Moss beard. I think I had a moss beard when I played Break with Craig. I was some weird nature dwarf thing. I forgot what I was. That is such a... That game has a beautiful book. But, man, it's a big book. I played it and I don't understand it, but I played it. Let's put a question out here. Whisperstones. Bad deity. Something that is trying to consume, take, corrupt the good moss. Is there bad moss? Does corrupted moss just die? Questions. Something is trying to consume. Are they trying to kill off the green voice? Do we have the green voice and the dark whisper? Oh, I mean, the hollow tongues kind of whisper. That's how they are, so. I guess we can This is lore. Speak in whispers that sound like several overlapping voices, but cannot be understood. This can be heard. I don't like the pink node. I made that the wrong color because that makes me think it's a question. This can be heard from a fair distance and unfortunately sounds like the same whispers as a whisper stone. Unless you're a rabbit, then you can tell the difference. If there is a bad guy, then making it like Wad's worm might work. I don't know what Wad's is. World of Dragons? If I had to take a guess. Not familiar with it. Fern Gully sounds like great inspiration for this. Again, something I have not consumed in 100 years. The god of decay, of rot, and mushrooms and corpses. Ooh. So, big tangent. When I did the second campaign, unfortunately 5e, but this was the mushroom campaign. Everybody played as the mushrooms that Glee made. She had created the fungally, the mushroom species that everybody played as, and gave them a deity, and her name was something. I forgot. It meant Stone Mother. But she like gave life to all the mushroom people and blah 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 blah. So what I ended up doing, I took that, and they come to find out that the big bad evil guy of that campaign was the Stone Mother's sister. And the way that worked is they were two parts of the same coin. The Stone Mother was constantly giving life. Her sister, also name I can't remember, was the taker of souls. So one made the souls, one took the souls. It was supposed to be a cycle, like mushrooms. The split happened. The Stone Mother, the mushroom people were not her first people. She had a stone-like race that she took care of, but they all died, and that like broke her. And her tears made Lamont. That was her name, Lamont. She started, broke down. Tears made holy water kind of thing that grew these mushrooms, and she had a whole new race. And a big mechanic of the mushroom people was that they couldn't die unless like their entire body was consumed. We had a fun mechanic where they could, if you died, you could regrow and come back with different stats and abilities and stuff. So that was the problem. She kept resurrecting people, and her sister wasn't getting the souls she was owed, so she started causing a bunch of problems and blah, 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 blah. So that's my big tangent. Because a god of rot and mushrooms and corpses, like that is a very important cycle. Fungus grows off decaying stuff. Moss doesn't, right? It just kind of grows. I'm gonna have to do some research. Blaze says I am in. Okay, we're gonna do a little techie stuff here. Blaze, if you're watching this, hang tight. I'm gonna have to turn off my camera here. Whee! And then I'm going to hop in something. Let's see. That's it. Join room with camera. Audio source. Preferably that one. Okay. Well, Blaze, you said you were... Oh, yep, there you are. Okay. Hello. If you're saying something, I don't hear it. Tech issues.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
You hear me?
Yeah. I hear you now.
So sorry.
That's all right.
Everybody hear me already, or?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm gonna try and get your both of our video feeds in here. Let's see, video 1. It is not showing up. Oh, I know why it's not showing up, because it's under the... Ta-da! There's me again. I have returned. Alright, now we will...
Hi everyone. Can you see me already? Wait.
No, I gotta get yours next. Alright. There it is. Oh, you're way up there. We're gonna bring you down here. Ta-da! Alright.
So again, I'm sorry there was daylight savings last weekend, and I forgot that everybody does daylight savings at another day.
That was the hardest part in the campaign I was just talking about, because people would start it at different times, and then somebody lived somewhere that they just didn't do it. It's just like, ah! So, anyway, let's see. Let me catch up on the chat here. Moth. Oh, I read that. Word of Darkness, Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf, the Apologize, and others. Maybe the Mother had favorites. You said that Moss stopped the Hollow Tongues from becoming worse. Go harder in that concept. Moss acts as a buffer to magic and corruption. Ooh, but it might become too saturated and become magical and corrupting by itself with time. A biological magical sponge. Okay. So that could make somebody think the green voice is selfish and bad. Like, these creatures are trying to evolve into something else, and the green voice is like, no, Moss. Now, I was going to look up some.
What are they evolving into, right? That's big.
Alright, I'm going to have to turn you up a little bit. You're kind of quiet. But that's all.
Alright.
But I have that power. I can do that. So chat, you'll have to let me know if you can hear him or not.
Yes.
All right, so
Saying, like, what are they evolving to, right? What's the other force at play here?
I don't know. Werewolf the Apocalypse. Okay, I thought Werewolf the Apologize wasn't right. All right, so moss can, according to this, moss can indeed grow from dead organic material. When moss dies, it typically turns brown or yellow and becomes crispy. Dead moss undergoes decomposition, blah, 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 blah. But it can grow off dead stuff.
Maybe the corrupting force is them transforming into some sort of stone beings. And like moss and stone are like the two divine forces that are fighting each other, right? You did mention that whisper stones might be like evil. Maybe like the arcane magic of the stones is like, or maybe it's like more morally gray. So stone representing some sort of order, while moss is more of natural chaos, and then it's more of a morally gray. And just their forces fighting has brought this world into this darker chapter.
Twisted says Blaze sounds like shit. His mic quality is a little lower, but hopefully he's still loud enough to be heard. It's fine.
I'm not at home. I don't have my fancy mic.
Yeah.
Also, my fancy mic broke down. I have to order a new one.
Uh-oh.
That's hard. Like, a lot is going on in my life right now. I'm like 3-front war, metaphorically speaking.
Well, okay, so I remember that stream you were on, the mic was kind of cutting out. You might want to double check something. Microsoft recently rolled out an update hidden in Windows where they have an AI feature that kind of overrides your microphone quality. You have to go in there and disable it. Mustache, I saw him post about it in another server, so might be something to check out. But I can get it. I can show you that afterward.
Freaking Microsoft.
AI is the future. It's still too quiet. All right, I'm gonna turn him up some more. Blaze, say something. Go hubbada 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 hubbada.
I'm sorry. I was just frustrated with everything. Okay.
Oh,
Keep it professional here, right?
I know why he's so quiet for y'all. Because I have him coming through the same thing as the music, which I have turned down. So let me now say something.
Okay, test. The
That's
music
a lot
spilling
better.
up.
Okay. So I'll have to turn the music way down here.
Science.
Hopefully that'll work. We might just turn the music off, but anyway,
Yeah.
going back at it here. Okay, so where were we? Moss can grow off dead stuff.
So maybe like God of Stone, God of Moss, conflict with each other. Stone is trying to evolve life into the next step. Moss is trying to prevent that. Who is in the right, who is in the wrong? We could make it clear like Moss is good, Stone is bad, or we could do it more. Now I can hear my second favorite. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yes, so maybe we can make it like morally gray. So maybe Stone is more about order, Moss is about what is natural, and then the players get to decide.
Yeah, so I really like, and I mentioned this earlier, when they're in their version of Garden of Eden and that creature shows up with moss on it, that confuses people, and there's room for interpretation there. Like, did the moss make this monster or this creature a monster, or was it trying to stop it? That's when, your faith has to come in, and it's like, I choose to believe this, or like, no, I don't have that kind of faith. This is all messed up. So I just don't know what
for atheism and religion.
Yeah.
Let's go political. Sorry.
That's all good. I like, see, that's what I do with my writing. I like to slip that stuff in there, but not beat you over the head with it.
Yeah, that's important. Like, you got to be subtle about it and leave it up to the reader, and not be like, this is the correct way. If you don't think like this, you're a bad person.
Yeah, that's the Disney approach. So, okay, so what might these creatures be turning into? So something just completely takes over them. So I guess on that note, for a gameplay and mechanic kind of thing here, what is a hollow tongue? Can it be critters, which I defined earlier as any intelligent animal that the players play as, or work with, townsfolks, all that? Or is it just non-intelligent things, which still haven't been defined? Because I feel like everything but bugs in this world is considered a critter that's intelligent. Media literacy is dead.
I just got like a crazy idea, and I'm totally okay. You think like this is not at all what I'm going for. When you ask the question of what are they turning into, maybe like the stone, it's not really stone. Maybe it's you were talking about like there used to be a bigger civilization, right? Maybe it's some sort of nanomachines transforming animals into more robotic parts, and the divine moss is trying to act against it. And I know it's a little bit far out there and introducing sci-fi elements, and I totally get it if you're like, no, this doesn't fit in my vision at all. It's just some crazy idea.
Yeah. I don't think that's the direction we want to go, but it is.
Yeah, I get it.
No, because I was like, well, you could tie this in with the Whisper Stones. The Whisper Stones,
Could be chips.
they're more of an item, but I'm sitting here wondering. Also, twice dead, you can make it like Chaos Camp, the Moss Serpent against the Green Voice. Ooh. So, hear me out. Thinking out loud here. The Whisper Stones, so far, what we've kind of talked about is stones in general were kind of how they recorded things. That's how they left messages behind for those that come after them and stuff. And the magical side of Whisper Stones has not been explained. It's just kind of a thing in there. Now, we could try and explain this, and we probably need to at some point, but I'm wondering if something with the Whisper Stones did stir up something they didn't mean to. They started tapping into something they shouldn't, and you were talking about turning into robots and parts and stuff. I'm wondering if like these creatures can start growing pieces of stone on them. Like somebody had mentioned stone monsters too. So, but not becoming a full on stone, but like you start to see almost like scales coming up, just real hard stone, and then the moss could be growing off that, and then that's trying to stop it. And so that's when you see a hollow tongue, you just see the moss, you don't see the stone that it tried to consume.
Maybe. I like the idea of them transforming into stone and the moss preventing that. So, and the whole idea of stirring something up, maybe we could go with the stone being a bit like classic cosmic horror direction a bit. Like the critters were studying magic, which were connected to this other being that's a bit outside of the comprehension, and they like loosen up the fabric of reality. It's now seeping in and bestowing his own blessings or sense of order, which is not really what the world needs. And the moss, its original deity, is fighting against it. And basically the magic stones are forbidden magic, but the critters might not know it. Maybe forbidden. Just throwing out ideas.
No. I like it. I just had other ideas going in my head too. So what if, because I really like the idea we had at the beginning of the stream about cursed Whisper Stones, and I'm wondering if, I don't know, I was thinking maybe all the Whisper Stones have a nasty side effect to them. That would I'd have to rework a couple classes because they were based off getting more benefits out of Whisper Stones, but I don't think that'd be too hard. So I'm wondering if the Whisper Stones weren't necessarily bad. Like, they were good to start with. It was just kind of their magic in the world. There was magic in the rock, magic in the stone. But the creature that showed up in the Garden of Eden was instead one of the critters that lived there, and he was doing something with that part of the magic he was not supposed to, and he accidentally corrupted himself and did something, and he just started walking out in the village, but people just saw the moss, and then all the confusion starts from there. But that started the divide. That was the silent heresy. It was something he did behind the scenes, and people started getting different opinions, like, oh, moss is bad, oh no, moss is good, it was trying to help us. But that whole nice Garden of Eden area, splits, and the world goes its own way, and then what that guy started spills out to the rest of the world, starts infecting more and more people, so, and other creatures.
I do like it when you apply like cosmic horror, but you don't go with the classic aesthetic of tentacles and eyes, but takes some sort of other element. For example, like in Remnant, where the Eldritch Presence has a lot of tree, like wood. It's more like wood and plants and so on, infecting and spreading. And here it could be like stone.
Instead. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Let's see. Boss is the closest thing the stone deity can make. Is alive, but not from the green voice. The chaos dwarfs become stone staff. Alright. So let's say. Oh, gotta write some stuff down here. The Silent Heresy was actually a critter that lived in that area, but was doing something with the Whisper Stones that he shouldn't have, and corrupted himself. And then Hollow Tongues, we're going to say these creatures are actually starting to become stone in places, and the moss is trying to prevent that growth. Moss is all you can see usually on the surface, making people believe they're moss monsters. Ayo. Alright. So that's cool. I could have picked some better colors. Can I? Oh, y'all can't see this window when I pop it up. Sad. Instead of pink, we're gonna do... Oh, that was the wrong thing. I know what I'm doing. Alright, that looks like the first level, but I think it'll be okay. There we go. Neon blue. Alright. Okay, so Whisper Stones. I feel like they need a little more, maybe, definition. Because this world, there's not a lot of magic going on. Whisper Stones was it, so...
Maybe those are the scales or rocky parts of animals transforming. And the reason why there are not that many is because you kind of have to kill one of those hollow tongues to get some.
That's a cool idea. But I think there were Whisper Stones first. And
Okay.
they were seen as good things. That's cool, though.
Maybe, like it was, the magic of Whisper Stone studying, and that somehow summoned the stone, whatever the stone really is. And yes, of course, they are the old Whisper Stones of before, but the Whisper Stones now are also growing into Hollow Stones. So now you have two sources of Whisper Stones. You could either get them from like old ruins from the old crafters, or naturally grown in hollow tongues, which very hard to get because they're deadly monsters.
Yeah. I was thinking, so you're in the... I need a better name for this, but the Garden of Eden, when everything's well and good. They would have... Because see, they're using the stones, like I said, to record stuff, supposedly. None of this is definite. But I say that, but I don't even know what they'd be recording and leaving behind, because everybody thought everything was all well and good. They're not going anywhere. Poopy.
I mean, even if everything is going good and well, you can still have people curious, studying, trying to find secrets, and writing down their research, right?
Mm-hmm. Whisper Stone might scream when being overused. Ooh. Hollow tongues are the result of taking magic too far.
Ooh,
I like
that
that.
is
Like,
creepy.
yeah, the stones, the moss being offered is very physical, natural. Like, it's like, yep, insulate your home, it's food, bandage your wounds, insulate your house, all that kind of stuff. Whereas the stones could have been more divine, more magic-y, but it wasn't the critter's magic. Like, they cannot manifest magic, but they could pull some out of these rocks. And yeah, somebody used too much and it consumed them. So yeah, that's
And evoking the stone, and now stone versus moss deities, more
yeah,
like abstract forces of nature.
and then the moss tried to save them. Like, excuse me, Twice Dead was saying it's a what'd you call it? A magical biological barrier. Magical barrier. It's a big word. Between whispers and screams, you might find monsters. Okay, so let's say whisper stones. Are they from the green voice as well?
I kind of like separating like the magic of the stone and the magic of the moss. Maybe the moss is more about your like the innate potential of life and nature.
As I say, the moss is very natural, normal. It's non-magical. That took a lot of faith from the critters. They're like, nope, the green voice comes through the moss, her providing. All this moss is her providing. Like, it's somebody could just look at the moss and be like, no, dude, that's just moss. That's how it works. But the faithful are like, green voice. So,
while the
stones,
stone is more like the unnatural and the magic that changes reality.
Yeah, it is the magic of the universe. So somebody could be like, this has nothing to do with the green voice. And some might be like, nope, it's also her. So,
a meteor?
A
meteor from outside the world?
Oh, see, you going into sci-fi again.
There's plenty of meteors in fantasy, okay?
gonna have vibranium
like
in it too.
Swords made out of meteorites or something. Like.
All right, so we'll just say the magic of the universe.
The wrath of the gods.
For now, magic of the universe. Critters could pull magic in quotes. Very doing a lot of heavy lifting with the quotes. Critters could pull magic out of the stones, but critters could never manifest magic themselves. All right. So the first hollow tongue. Somebody that pulled out too much magic from a stone and corrupted themselves. Or themselves? Themselves? How do you spell that? Themselves with a V is plural.
You're the native speaker. I just use scrambling.
Stone was first, and now the stones dream in their slumber. Oh, that's cool, Simon. Magic is nothing else than the dreams of the ancient stones. Okay, so I like that. That is... So I really like the idea of stones. You know, stones, they've been here for a long time. You're kind of pulling out old secrets, old magic, old stuff. Like, you're not making new things. So...
yes, I do like it. The idea of slumbering stone, and this also has a bit of a Lovecraftian flavor to it, right? The whole all this evil stuff. It's the evil eldritch being isn't even awake; he's just dreaming, and his dream itself is influencing reality.
Yeah. So, okay. So Whisper Stones, we got that. I'll just make a note here. The magic has always been in the stones. Just put that there. And somebody pulled out too much. It was... Yeah. So, the green voice, Mother Nature, good deity, is not connected. That's not how you spell connected. To the Whisper Stones. Well, that's also in quotes. Communicates through the moss and uses the moss to provide for critters. then I'll make another note out here. Moss on, I think I have it somewhere else though. Moss on hollow tongues is actually trying to stop the mutation process of the critter becoming more / full stone. And I really see this works. Excuse me. This makes sense mechanically because when you're fighting hollow tongues, their big threat is that they just completely negate your karma usage for EZD6. You just cannot use it. So, and normally in core EZD6, you can't use karma on magic. So it's like, okay, these creatures are getting messed up by magic from the stones. So it kind of mechanically makes sense why you can't use your karma. So, not important, but I think it's pretty cool. Let's see. All right. So I like that. Whisper Stones, Magic of the Universe, they've always... And that is a good thing to leave up to the table. And whoever's making the game, running the game, is, okay, you know, this super evil being put all this magic in the stones, like some kind of Loki. He just wanted to cause trouble, watch the world become chaos. Or it can be like, nope, the green voice filled all these stones years ago, or some other completely other deity filled up the stones. That's up for them, and they can shape their world, whether whisper stones are a bad thing or a good thing. So a power that was never meant to be used, you know, or it was meant to be used and they took it too far. So I like that. Okay, so let's see. Whisper Stones, Magic of the Universe, they've always been there. Can I can't. Look at there. Fancy formatting. We don't have a bad deity. Something that is trying to consume, take around. No bad deity needed. It's just the magic and the stones being misused. So I guess... But a critter can never manage that magic themselves. The one critter pulls out too much. And that is the accident of the silent heresy. Okay. So, yeah, he does that, and then that just... Basically, you start Whisperstone COVID-19. Is that what you're doing? You pull out too much, and now it's just... See, I really like the idea that you guys had, you and some folks in the chat, I think, about the stones falling off of the dead, corrupted creatures, and that being something you can use. I think that's too much for the module, though. Then you're getting in, like, Moss and Stone needs to be its own game at that point instead of just a easy D6 module. That's putting too much on top of it, but that would be super cool. Now, I've already little sneak peek behind the scenes for those in the stream. I've already been toying with the idea of making Moss and Stone its own thing, like its own system. It's still going to be an easy D6 playset. That's what it's going to start at, and then depending how other projects go, I may come back and revisit it and make it its own thing. Very similar to what Dave did with Ironbound, because Ironbound was an easy D6 playset first, and then he's like, I'm going to make my own game. But I've already done all the lore and world building, so. Green Voice makes me think that there are other deities like the Gray Mind, the Stones, ooh, and the Red Paws, the animals. I like the Gray Mind, the Stones. But I think I'm going to leave that one as is, just the Green Voice. Because that has some conflict with it already. Some people see it as something bad, and then some people see it as something good. And then the Stones are just a total mystery.
I have an idea. You know, the whole earlier discussion about cursed whisper stones. And like first the idea I had, like the stone is slumbering, right? What if the world used to be a world of stone with its own alien ecosystems and so on, until for whatever reason the stone started to slumber, and the green voice and the moss and all the quote unquote natural life started to awake, and that maybe some of the stones that are found are like fossilized remains of those old creatures from that alien ecosystem. So we were maybe talking about cursed whisper stones being made out of bones. Maybe it's like if you make a whisper stone out of the fossilized remains of these alien stone creatures, you disturb their rest and makes the magic go haywire, introducing the curse.
Maybe. What? See, I'm so bad at this. When I'm in these brainstorming sessions with somebody will have an idea, and I'll start listening to their idea, and that gives me 10 other ideas, and then I start thinking about. Lazy mind just loves
not
space.
It's like cosmic horror. I mean, okay, cosmic horror has like cosmic in it, but it's more like introducing elements that, like ancient elements that are completely different from what we're used to.
Space.
Space.
Oh yeah. So what if we have this? The stones have been there forever, and that magic has always been in them. But the magic came. It's kind of similar to the green voice. It's just this force that doesn't really have a name or a face or anything. And he had been lingering around for so long, and he just left pieces of his power in all these stones, but somebody tried to tap into that more than they were supposed to, and kind of made the guy mad. Either made that deity mad, or maybe he had been sealed away, and somebody let him out, and that's what's causing the spread.
Or his dreams turn into nightmares.
Ooh. Yeah, let's see. What twice did it say? Stone was the first, and now the stones dream in their slumber. Magic is nothing else than the dreams of ancient stones. So somebody disturbed that rest.
Just like when dreams start to be too vivid, they tend to slip into horrific visions.
Yeah. So one critter pulled out too much, and that is the accident. Stone's slumber was disturbed. Did it stones start having nightmares? Corrupted. It would be crazy if you tapped into the stone and that power and like it just overwhelmed yourself. There was just so much, like you learned the master, the mysteries of the universe, and just brain fried and became a monster.
Reminds me a bit of the ending of the bad Indiana Jones movie with the crystal skulls and that
I haven't seen that one.
Basically, she asks for all the knowledge that the aliens can provide, and they upload all the knowledge, and her brain can't handle it, and she literally burns to ashes because her brain gets overloaded and starts burning.
That's funny. The stones start having nightmares, and that's what corrupted the critter. Could be.
Like the nightmare idea, a stone nightmare creates monsters by overusing whisper stone. Combining all these ideas.
Stone Nightmare creates monsters by overusing those person. Yeah. So that could be a mechanic. Like using a Whisper Stone just has a chance to. Well, because see, that's what I had thought about with the Preacher, that new class I gave it. The Corrupted Preacher that can start becoming a moss monster. And while I was working on that, I was like, should this be a feature that everybody has to worry about? Then I was like, nah, because lore-wise in my head, I was like, this takes a lot of effort to become corrupted like this. Like, you have to go down this road. It's not an accidental thing. So I like that idea, and that ends up checking out with how this accident originally started anyway. Somebody was trying to go down this road versus the Twice Dead Swamp we're going to have. That is going to be this very scary, nasty place that can force that conversion. So
maybe if we just use a Whisper Stone normally, it just works, no side effects, but you can force it to be used again. And the more you force it, the higher the chance that it will have some horrible side effect. And then you can have the corrupted priest built around the mechanic that he can either survive the side effects better, or embracing them, or just negate them a bit better.
maybe. The Stones mind broke a squirrel by teaching it Texas. That'll break the strongest of men. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I have a woman do all my taxes stuff, because men are too weak.
You know, there's a lady that does my taxes too. Might be onto something. Okay, so let's split. Let's split from that. Let's think of some factions here. So we just got critters.
So critter factions, or
it's a very loose word I'm using. Just groups of entities. So like critters, I don't feel like is normally what you would consider a faction, but like, hey, this is a group of entities or in things that fit under this. So this is way too long of a name, but followers of the Green Voice, those that believe the Green Voice is good and provides all good things.
maybe the what was the word again that I'm looking for? The Emerald Order.
What were they?
Yeah, because you said that the name was too long. Followers of the Green Voice.
Oh.
Order.
Whoop. I'll jump down.
Or the Disciples
That sounds
of
like
Light.
some knights. That would be for that.
Then
That's pretty cool.
the Emerald Church.
Yeah.
Or the Emerald Way. No, because just calling it the Green Way sounds kind of... it's not as cool.
Alternate names. Here, let's just do this. Emerald. I can just... How do we do this? Look at there. Let me navigating. River Trade Company. Otters, beavers, and others. Oh, man. That's what I'm talking about. River Trade Company. Otters, beavers, and others make money by... I should have just, like, copy-pasted this. By creating a trading clan along river shores. All right, you know what? We'll just.
I mean, you also gotta have the crazy stone cold, right?
Stone Cold? Well, that's what I was thinking. So we have the followers as green voice, and then we have those that want to be corrupted by the moss, but it's not actually the moss.
Ooh, like they're not just crazy; they're completely wrong. I like it.
Mm-hmm. So we'll just say the heretics for now. Want to be, well, so see, want to be consumed by. I've been throwing around the term bad moss like that's been a thing, but I think we just killed it. And I have that one shot where there's that room with the corrupted moss that you have to use the holy water to purge.
I mean, we could still have corrupted moss in the sense like moss is lossified to the stone and got overcharged with stone magic.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's less of a like a huge entity, more like isolated patches of moss.
By magic. Right. Okay. Heretic. So they just believe that there is bad moss.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine them as Arab caravans, but in water. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I like that. Believers of the stone truth. Seekers of the stone.
But the thing is, they don't. Oh, sorry, it's separate. Ooh, maybe an ancient order, like the only ones that really know what happened. Maybe like parts of them were responsible for the whole stone apocalypse, and now in secret they're trying to weaken the stone. Or
that
maybe
would
like
be cool
the
for
ones that are what?
I was gonna say that would be cool for somebody's campaign. I don't know if I'd want to enforce that on the whole world. Like that would be a fun adventure for a GM to do. Like, hey, here's this order, and I'm going to say this is what actually happened. So,
Okay.
Stone Cold Truth.
It just kind of reminded me of this Spanish tabletop RPG. I forgot the name, but it has like 3 layers of what the truth is. Like the first layer is the church is good, magic doesn't exist, stop asking about it, but it's forbidden. And like this is this unified human empire. Then like the second layer is there are these 2 goddess type creatures, and there's magic, but they are not like anti-human, but they are these magic beings. And then there's like this third layer, which are these 3 sci-fi secret organizations that are controlling everything and are even more powerful than the 2 goddess figures.
I just had like the sci-fi again.
I know. I didn't say like that we should go down that route. It reminded me of that when with the suggestion of this faction that actually knows what's going on.
Yeah. Yep. I accidentally colored that something I didn't want to. There we go. Searchers of the first clearing. Critters looking for that Garden of Eden place. The first clearing. I like that.
Yes, that's a very good name.
So cities. We'll put that under cities. The first clearing. The original garden. That's good. I gotta. There's a way you can like add a little note on these, but I forget what it is. There it is. Vice Dead Mage. Because of course, he made half this game. So. Man, I just the Emerald Order sounds like a fun group of knights.
Maybe they're like a subsect of the Followers of the Green Voice, which have more of a martial tradition.
Maybe.
One of the potential starting factions you could have, like your recruits of the Emerald Order sent out into the world to fight the Hollow Tongues or something.
I'm running in my mind, run through my mind the classes that we have. So like, there's the shield bearers, the very defensive knighty ones. So it's like something they typically come from. Or now I'm also wondering, because we had the snake killer class, and then I have in my notes like that's probably going to become a hollow tongue hunter. But I was thinking in my mind that the hollow tongues were more beastly things and larger, not just individual critters. So like it's almost like a vampire hunter now. Which is, it's fine, but the thing was they jump and use spears and like, so the jumping doesn't make much sense now. So maybe they'll just be snake killers. But
ideas. Oh, well.
Rock Tamers, a cult that believes that the hollow tongues can be controlled and even used for good. They're wrong. Hollow tongues can be controlled. I don't know. I like the idea. See, the hollow tongues are... Well, okay, so originally, going back to what I thought, was thinking more of them like large animals. They're very rare. See, this kind of changes things, though. If hollow tongues can be anybody, anything can be a hollow tongue. So imagine going through the woods and you hear the whispers of the hollow tongue and you're like, oh my god, it's gonna be this massive bear or something, and then it's a little mouse and you're like, oh, well, that ain't nothing. And then he moves at like 100 miles an hour and just slaughters your entire party.
I've got permanent haze, beer.
Does the teleports behind you? Nothing personal, kid. Oh, man. That'd be funny.
I just got an idea with the red paw. Maybe it's not like a divine voice, but like a critter empire that tries to restore order with brutal force.
Order to... Is the whole world in chaos, or? So the setting is kind of not post-apocalyptic, but scrappy, I think, because it's animals. Their architect and technology is just kind of slap it together and hope it works. So they have all these safe zones, and adventurers go from zone to zone to zone to zone, kind of bringing supplies and word and all that. So they're all kind of in it together, just trying to survive, but not in the sense like, yep, the world's doomed. It's just like, no, we're all in this together, and other things are trying to eat us. So what would somebody trying to bring order do? They just want to rule all the cities, or
rule other cities, but also use military might to crush the hollow tongues. And they need soldiers for that, right?
So basically, you have your crusaders that just want to wipe out everything that's not the green voice, right? So,
Yeah, something like that.
okay, so
Sanctify the moss in the blood of the heretics. And maybe they have a very loose interpretation what a heretic is.
yeah, overly zealous green voice followers are on a mission to purge any and hollow tongues. Sometimes purge those that aren't quite hollow tongues. And then they kill off non-believers too. Kill non-believers or force them into unpaid labor. Dude, I got a book I want to
Just
write.
unpaid interns, right?
Yeah, I got a book I want to write so bad. That is a play on crusades in the Catholic Church from back in the day. That's gonna be a fun one to write, and it's gonna make some people mad.
I mean, quite frankly, you cannot write about the Crusades either. You offend the one group or the other group, depending on, or you offend both if you try to go the middle route.
That's the idea.
But yeah, but hey, if art doesn't stir emotions, is it even art? So go for it.
Yeah. The idea is just to make you think, and like we had talked about it earlier, it's like just little subtle stuff. It's not beating you over the head. Hey, this was right, this was wrong. It's just, no, think about it. Think about it a little bit. Come to your own conclusion. So, ideally, see, my ideal outcome for a story is to have a very divisive fan base. You have one side arguing that this was right and the other side that was arguing this was wrong. So, kind of like Skyrim. I don't know if you've ever seen people argue about whether or not the Imperials are right. About the Imperials and the Nords. It's like, yes, this is what I want. So. All right.
The Imperials.
Hey, I lean towards the Imperials because the Nords remind me too much of Southerners. All right, so let's see.
Do you need more factions? Because that's already a sizable.
Yeah, and I mean, these aren't. That probably won't all make it in the book. This is just helping flesh out a world and stir up other questions and things. Cities, locations, I don't know. We didn't really need that much detail there. That is one thing I need to figure out, how much lore I want to put in a EZD6 playset. I know Sage, if you're still here, his Zellerin playset for EZD6, he's got a ton of lore, and he's planning on making a pretty sizable book out of it. And I don't know if I want to do all that. It's like, do I just want to keep it like Wasted World, which is the other EZD6 game that Scotty made? If you're not familiar with that, Blaze, Wasted World adds a specific setting, but with certain elements, like kind of how the world ended, this magic stuff going on, but keeps it very light. But it still very much puts you in that world, whereas EZD6 is just like, nah, general fantasy, go. So I think I'm leaning more towards Wasted World, just very generalized stuff, but enough to put you in that world and give you all that wiggle room you want. Whereas if I do go off and make this my own thing, I would write a chunkier, beefier book. So like fleshing it out here is a good idea, and then I may just pick a couple things and put it in the EZD6 book. The Order of the Brew. Beer and ale making clan. They believe no war or conflict can exist with a foamy acorn ale in hand. Acorn ale Let's do it. All right. Can I? Let's just do this.
I mean, to be fair, you can also just use grapes. Just instead of like just one big grape, and you got enough for 4 bottles of wine.
That message took 7 minutes to load. What the heck? I don't know. YouTube tripping. Okay. We got a lot. Well, I was gonna say a lot of bad guys, but I think we're pretty evenly split here. Now, are there any? I say cities, but like, let's do this. Locations.
I mean, are the Crusaders really bad guys? I mean, there might be some accidents, but
so
they sometimes kill children. It happens.
demonetized.
Oh, sorry.
Right. No, it's fine. I don't care. I don't monetize the streams anyway. You know, I can pass up those 2 pennies. So, yeah, what are some interesting locations? So, like the first clearing. That's obviously a good one. These are things I would kind of like to put a couple in the book just to stir up some ideas. We doing settlements now? Well, just settlements. It could be if you've got some unique settlements you want to throw out there, but these are just locations.
Maybe the stone wastes, which is like a desert that has completely been taken over by stone.
Ooh, got an idea here. The stone wastes. Nothing but stones and sand?
Well,
Nothing but stones and sand?
Sand is just tiny stones.
So you just hear the high-pitched whispers? Those tiny little stones. All right, nothing but stones and sand.
You make a joke, but it would be kind of creepy, right? It's if you go there, it's just like the wind is full of voices.
See, that's the super powered player. They're the Whisper Stone specialist, but he just pulls out a handful of sand, and it's like, nope, each one of these is a Whisper Stone.
And roguelike, I also got just a handful of Whisper Stone. It's just pocket sand. Now you're blind to magic.
Pocket sand. All right, I like the stone wastes. That's pretty cool. Nothing but stones. Ooh, man. So, like, the Whisper Stones and Hollow Tongues make the same whisper sound, which now makes sense, considering the lore we have established with the Hollow Tongues. Mm-hmm. So you go to the stone wastes, and you hear all the whispers from the stones, but none of the stones are actually Whisper Stones. But then you have Hollow Tongues hiding in that area, so it's just like all the mind games.
Yeah, like no sane critter would go there.
Yeah,
right? It's known as a death wasteland. But maybe for some reason your adventuring group needs to go there, or Tower of the First Heretic, where the first Hollow Tongue exhausted the Whisper Stone and became a monster. The hollow tree trunk that disappears at will. It was part of the first clearing.
Ooh.
I do like an historic place. You know what?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say it would have to move because we don't know where the first clearing is. But see, Tower of Foul Sorcery of the Birthplace of the Hollow might work better. So here's the thing, like the way I was envisioning the dude that awoke or dug too deep, all this stuff, he was part of the community. Like, seeing him in that way would have been a shock to people. Like, they would have been like, oh, it's that crazy guy off in his tower doing his stuff. So he just had a little home Home of the first, but Tower of the First Heretic is so much cooler. Well, we'll put it in here.
Nah, just write it down.
Yeah. Because you never know when you can. You have half an idea and you're like, wait, I can take this other thing and blah 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 blah.
More ideas.
Cool cities, something that makes them unique, like a city on a big old raft or something. I don't know. Water city.
I like the idea of like almost a medieval style fortress city.
So in Mouse Ritter, I don't know if Craig got it from a book or a setting or something, but there was this order. I forgot what the knights were called. It was the order of something, and it was squirrels, and their castle was an abandoned fridge in the middle of a field. It was just they had the big, they could open the big door. like that's awesome, but
no humans, right?
well, that's up to the table. But they could make something like that. But I don't want to set something like that in stone.
What kind of?
So they could just have a heavily fortified, like a beavers, a beaver constructed fortress.
Ooh. Yes, it does make sense that beaver have a builder tradition, culture.
Yep. Can't play as a beaver, but they can be around. So would it just be beavers in there? Don't like anybody else coming in?
Sorry, brain is losing juices.
A wooden castle.
Running out of ideas.
Made by beavers.
Ooh. A city in the bones of a bear.
The big bear. But cool. The boneyard. The floating city of the River Trade Company, a giant drifting log in the highest lake. Center of
That makes sense.
operativos of the River Company. Yeah. It's gonna be cool if, like, that trading company you're talking about, they just have this log, and like it's kind of got part of the top cut off and hollowed out, and there's just this giant log going down the stream or whatever, and you can see them all in there working, making their different wood products. And they just kind of float up to another city, start buying and trading. So let's see. Floating city of the River Trade. Whoop. From that lake, many rivers are born.
Question.
Oh, wait.
A dinosaur or something that used to live in this world but got extinct.
What was it? Dinosaurs?
Yeah, dinosaurs. Like, not like currently living, more like
Bones?
existed and died out, like in our world.
Maybe. I think that would be a table thing. But I was going to write down, what was it? Your Bears of the Bones? Or Bones of the Bear? Bare Bone City? Ha ha ha. A city built within the bones of a bear carcass. How about mostly inhabited by mice and other small creatures? We also have lizards, birds. That was something we hadn't fleshed out yet. So Jacob wanted to just make all lizards bad guys, and I'm like, this kind of is the easy way to go. Well, mammals versus lizards, but I'm not leaning that way. So, granted, we don't have any playable lizards, but like, lizards can fit under the critter category, and then since that they're intelligent, can communicate, but you might find them along the road as your bandits and thugs and whatnot you gotta deal with. Birds, I can't decide if they should be intelligent under the critter thing or just kind of doing their own thing, and then you can tame some of them. And like some can use them as... I think
I do like the idea of owls being terrifying predators.
Well, that's the Twice Dead Swamp I mentioned earlier. There's going to be an owl that lurks there and scoops people up and drowns them in the swamp. So...
Twisted Mage said something about the underground temple.
Where the badgers and moles made their homes, many tunnels lead way too deep, famous for having the best mushroom plantations of the... Oh, we gotta have mushrooms. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about a mushroom city, but like, yeah, it makes sense to make it underground.
What was I saying? I think I'm fine with the birds being intelligent on their own. And then, but they're kind of doing their own thing. But like some safe zones, villages, whatever, will have worked out some deals with some birds that don't want to eat them. Versus other places have to worry about hawks and whatnot. So, as a matter of fact, we have... let me pull up my Word document here. Way over there. I think one of the Tinker tools was specifically for birds, as in dealing with them. Big metal net launcher fires a large net. You can sap launcher. Okay, it doesn't say specifically, but I remember talking about it. Like if you had a bird swooping in on you, you just shoot it, like, catch them all up. Well, that's pretty good for today, I think. We don't have to stretch it out. I really like what we got going on with the stones and all that. That ended up being really cool.
Yeah.
Like the stones are becoming something kind of scary. Like, there's just like, man, what is going on in these things? They've just been here forever. Like something that predates the green voice. Like it's just been this thing forever, and somebody disturbed it. So
I do like worlds that have eldritch components.
yeah. So that's super fun. And then the players on the table can decide whether stones are good or bad.
Or aliens.
Or what?
Sorry, I couldn't. I just had to make the joke.
So, yeah, that's pretty good. Got a nice little mind map going on here. Colors are a little wonky, but that's all right. The Feathered Oak. A city on the oldest oak where the bird tamers live. If you want a flying mount, there is no better place. Ooh. Ooh.
I would write it down and maybe think about it later.
What was it? The Feathered Oak? He comes up with such cool names. Matter of fact, he's the one that came up with Moss and Stone. Accidentally. But
Really?
yeah, it was a... What was it? He said something about Moss and Stone. He wasn't trying to come up with a name for the thing, and I saw it, and, we all started joking about Moss and Stone, and I was like, Maybe that's just what we'll call it. And that was like the first or second stream.
Like, what was the initial idea then?
For Moss and Stone?
Like in the first stream, like, what did you start off with? Like, I thought,
Well,
like, the
we
name was-
knew we wanted to make a playset for EZD6 that was Redwall-esque inspired. Like, we wanted to play as critters, and that's
Okay.
kind of all we had to go on. So, because Jacob was going to run us a small campaign for me, Glee, and Jacob's wife. Yeah, it was the three of us, plus Jacob running it. So, and it's like, let's do a family-friendly Redwall style campaign just using EZD6. I was like, cool. And then he made up a bunch of species. And then around that same time, me and Jacob were wanting to tackle a project to see if we could work together. And we were like, okay, what's a small project? And then as he was making these species and some EZD6 rules for them, I was like, hey, let's just take some of these species or whatever as a launch pad, and let's just make a Redwall-esque thing for EZD6. I was like, that's a little bigger than I wanted to do in case things don't pan out. And we ran with it. So we just had some, and we didn't keep any of the species stuff that he had made for that campaign. Like, all of that changed, I'm pretty sure. And then I started coming up with some lore and stuff, which shaped some of the mechanics we were coming up with the Whisper Stones and whatnot. So that's how it went. I said, hey, EZD6 and animals, let's go. If you make birds playable, then the feathered oak might be at the city instead of a... Well, the birds won't be playable, but if they end up being their own intelligent species, like under critters, then the feathered oak would just be a service kind of thing. You wouldn't be taming the birds, but that might be like a flight school for birds where they have to go learn how to fly with riders and stuff, things like that. So Gleeful Kraken and I came up with the name, I think. I have to go back and watch like the first stream. It didn't take long to come up with it. That's why the streams were called Making an EZD6 Playset. They weren't called Moss and Stone, so now they are, I think. I just changed it for this one and actually changed the thumbnail, so.
Lore.
So anyway, I guess I'm gonna call it there. I got a haircut to go get in about an hour or less. Trim some of this off. Getting a little long, as you can see. A little fluffy. So I don't want to say there will be a stream next week, and I don't want to say there won't be a stream next week. I've been playing this very much by ear. See what I can come up with. I'm trying to schedule some play tests. I am terrible at scheduling play tests. I hate reaching out to people and bothering them and saying, hey, come test my 10th million project. So
You want me to bother people?
well, I also got to first find people that are familiar with EZD6. That makes it a little harder to find people, because since this is an EZD6 playset, it's like, okay, I need you to be familiar with EZD6 so you can see how well this fits onto it. And then we can start branching out into people who just want to play. Flight school, that sounds great. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. So that's where I'm at. I've been talking to some folks. I'm going to start trying scheduling some times, because I have one adventure I can run, but then there's also some stuff for nuts I'm wanting to do. Yeah, lots of stuff to do. This is a slow part, is play testing, because can't do it like a video game and release a beta and, a million people sign up and give you feedback. So you have to go hunt people down. So we'll see. Be on the lookout for that if you're in the server. Matter of fact, I think I poked the server the other day, but we will see. Anyway, say bye, YouTube.
Bye.